Well, this is a special edition. All we do is movies.
It's not a special edition. It's just like the other edition. It's the current edition.
It's when we go see a movie before we even think about seeing a movie.
I mean, we thought about it. We looked at the show times and we saw that it was playing.
We did, but we didn't record anything before we saw it.
Right, and didn't take any notes.
No notes. We saw it in the theaters.
So it's
With Movie Pass.
all
Movie
of our
Pass.
opinions are just gonna be skewed by how we felt about it in the moment.
Yep. And these ideas can probably change after you see it again. But who knows? So what's this movie called again? Hereditary?
Hereditary.
Heredity?
Hereditary.
Hereditary.
Yeah.
Hereditary. It's
I'm
out
really
now.
letting you take the lead on this.
All right. It's Ari Aster. Is that how you'd say the director's name?
I guess so.
Ari Aster, whatever you want to say. It's his first movie. It's his first feature-length directorial debut. He also wrote it. I guess he did a lot of shorts before this. But this is it. A24 gave him the shot. You know, they got the movie made. And it's it. It's out, and we saw it. Hereditary.
Let me just say one thing first. Good on him.
Ari.
Good on Ari. First, I have been dabbling in writing a little bit, you know, just like as a fun little hobby. And if anything I ever wrote ever, or anything I ever did ever, made it to A24 and on the big screen, good on you, buddy.
Yeah?
There you go.
Yeah. I was excited to see this movie. I didn't really watch any trailers or anything. I sort of saw a trailer play before, like a YouTube video or something, but I didn't really pay attention to it.
Yeah.
And I knew it looked good. I knew a lot of people were raving about it. So I wanted to go see it. And we saw it. And here's what we thought about Hereditary.
What did you think?
I thought it was a very good movie. As I was watching it, you know, the first thing you start thinking right away is like, oh, wait, this is a Rosemary's Baby type scenario. Also, spoilers. If we didn't tell you already, this is probably going to be filled with spoilers.
Yeah, all spoilers ahead.
Starts off a little weird. So we already know that it's set in this world where things are happening in the background. It feels like that's the tone that's set right away. The mother's at what's her name? Colette. What's her name? Toni Collette is the mom's name. She plays Annie, but her mom dies, and there's a funeral, and it seems like her mom's up to some stuff. So, you know, the way it was sort of presented in the trailer and stuff, and the way it's seeming is that she's into some secretive stuff. The grandmother is, and the current mom, Toni Collette, doesn't really know what's going on. She sort of had a iffy relationship with the mom, didn't really know what she was up to, and in a way, she's sort of like happy that the mom's dead, which is weird. It's said on this very weird note.
Happy about it.
She's indifferent, I guess.
She was conflicted.
Yeah.
Because.
But she wasn't. It didn't seem to like. She wasn't super close to her mom. You know.
Well, yeah, exactly.
So it's set on a really weird note right away. So that makes you feel that is going to keep the tone of the movie going. You don't know which way her mindset is because she's saying like kind of weird stuff at where you should be saying only like great stuff about dead people, from what I'm led to believe.
I think you can say whatever you want about
I guess you could.
anyone.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounded like this woman wasn't a great person.
Right.
And especially towards her
and she was up
family.
to some shit.
Exactly. And so like when you learn later that you can assume that this mom, her fun hobby probably had a big effect on her son and her husband's life, and thus Annie's. So like,
right.
She,
yeah,
Annie could
she
say
had
whatever
some
she
resentment.
wants.
And then it does set up the fact that there is a mental illness running through the family.
Which is what I really wanted to see more of in the film.
Yeah, so it sets that up, and you get to see immediately that the theme is, you know, it's called Hereditary, and it's like, all right, so something's being passed from the the grandmother down the line, and then we're introduced to the current family, and there's the little girl who I didn't know how old she was. I thought she was 5 or 6, and then it was revealed to be 13 later on, and I was mind blown 'cause I didn't know how old that little girl was, but she was creepy.
I mean, there's obviously something wrong with her.
Yeah, it's set up pretty quickly that she has some sort of, spectrum thing going on, or some sort of, something else going on in the background, that she's not an average kid. And so then that's another interesting thing about the movie, is that they sort of focus a lot on her, making it seem as though it's going to be this type of horror movie where the little girl gets involved in some either like a possession type thing, or she sees ghosts type thing. So that's what you're feeling in that moment when you're being introduced to her.
So much of like a possession. I think what it was sold as was that she kind of had some kind of otherworldly like power.
Oh,
because
okay.
like as she was taking the test, there's a part where she's taking a test and she like stops taking it to like fiddle with her voodoo doll
A
or
weird
whatever
taxidermy
it was.
project.
Exactly. In the classroom, and then like she like sits there and everything's all intense, and then a bird hits the window and dies.
Right, and then
So
she just stares at a pair of scissors.
Right. So I just thought that she was already like had demonic intent.
Right. But I'm just saying in general, it's subverting a viewer's expectation for what a horror movie is supposed to do, right?
Why?
Well, because look at every other horror movie. It's about a family, then they're in a house, and then scary stuff happens, and the little kid has some weird, like in the trailer or something, the kid will like point to a corner, and then a ball will roll out, or so,
Yeah.
and then it's like the kid's like, he's my friend, Tony, but Tony died 70 years ago. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
So they set it up like that, only to, I don't know, halfway through the movie, totally destroy those expectations, which I applauded. I thought it was a good move. Spoiler.
Okay, but I thought the whole build up to the good move was dumb. Like it was just I didn't like a lot of
setup
the characters
was
like
shaky.
I didn't like any of the decision making skills in this family. And I get maybe that's because all of them were like a little not like there at the time. They were all going through some stuff.
Right.
But
grieving.
Like why would you tell your son to take his 13-year-old sister
to
this school barbecue?
No, that
with
is.
him? Why would she not have her EpiPen wherever she goes if she's deathly allergic to peanuts?
Right. No, the one thing that I will say about the movie is that the script is wonky at times.
It is.
And it has some. It could be smoothed over and polished up, if it had a couple more passes to the script. But I think it was probably one of those things where he got it into a space where it felt good, and he didn't want to tinker with too much stuff, or else, things might start feeling weird, because that happens sometimes when you write. You just don't want to, go, redo anything that you feel is pretty solid, and then it screws up the third act or something, But
No, I completely understand. It would just, for me personally, if I don't feel connected to a character, I have a hard time really enjoying the film. And there wasn't any character in this film that I felt like, oh yeah, that's good job. Like you're doing it, or like I'm worried about you, or like watch out. Like no, there was no one. I didn't care about anyone.
Yeah, they're really just characters to service the plot.
Okay, sorry.
But the acting was good for the pivotal characters.
Yeah, that
like
right.
Toni Collette was good, and Alex Wolff or something.
You could really tell that
brother.
Toni Collette was like losing her mind.
Yeah,
like that was cool.
That was some great moments. And I think this movie is made out of great moments. I think there's some really good direction and scenes, and taking what, you easily could, like, you can easily have have. Okay, so whenever, spoiler, the little girl's head flies off because she's having a breathing fit because she ate a couple peanuts or something.
Because
and
the girls at this high school party were
right,
but that's another thing.
Yeah,
I
where they're
love.
baking cakes.
They really spelled everything out for you.
Right.
So in one
and that's
scene,
in the script. Yeah, that's part of the script.
They need you to know that she's allergic to peanuts, and then right as we open the door to this high school party, surprise, they're chopping up walnuts or pecans at a high school party, and then
which is crazy.
Like, why no one would do that? Just already have the cake made and then she takes a
Right.
bite of it. There's no reason to show us.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. Any solid movie-going audience would understand that very quickly, because all you have to do is have someone eat that and be like, "Wait, was there nuts in it? Oh no!" And then she's has a hard time breathing, and everyone knows
Yeah.
that's what that is. But yeah, they had to set it up. They did have the, and that could be a studio thing too. Who knows? But yeah, that's just another rewrite of the script, But I think he was just making it a little more digestible for certain movie-going audiences. And then
It's fine.
those people that need that eat that up and then say this is like one of the best movies they've seen all year because they can understand it. They go, oh, I know this and I know this and I know. And yeah, they dumb it down a little bit, but I don't think it hurts too much because that's how scripts have been written forever.
I did like whenever. Okay. So I did connect with a character, I just realized.
Uh-oh.
For
Was it the
literally
bird?
a scene, and then it was done. But
Oh my God.
I personally digested, I got over the fact that this kid just took his sister into this party where she knew no one, when really he could have been like, hey, little sis, I'll give you $10, just sit in the car
hang
and
up
play
the
with
car
your
and play.
toys.
Yeah, do your taxidermy weird. Yeah.
So I got over
And
that.
she would have been
whatever,
like,
we're
well,
at the party.
okay.
Yeah, she would have been fine. She'd been a weird kid in a car.
Yeah, that
But
would have been
then
great.
Once we got to the house and she's like actually in the house, I did feel bad for her because her brother is just like a dumb teenager who's gonna go smoke weed with his friends, and he told her to sit around.
And it set up that he's into that girl, and he's like, if you're what's he 16 supposed to be probably.
Yeah.
And he's just like into this chick, and he's like, okay, yeah, I'll take I got the good weed, and I'm gonna impress this chick, and it's gonna be 15 minutes in and out. I'll get her number, and then we'll set up another thing. If they set it up more like that, or like had any sort of interaction with him and the car being like, okay, I get it. Mom doesn't know. We'll just be cool. Like, please just be,
There's no reason to bring
But
your
yeah,
little
it's
sister
like-
who clucks at everything into this house with her taxidermy
Yeah,
toys.
it's just
silly.
not responsible. But then if you go back at everything's revealed at the end, that there are some sinister forces working to push everything into this one perfect moment where her head collides with a telephone pole and gets ripped off
Yeah, that does.
because of some dead animal in the road, and swerving to one side when you could have swerved the other side. It's just a whole bunch of weird random circumstances that ended up killing this little girl. But it all makes sense in the end. You know what I mean?
It does. It made sense. Okay, so we got that part, and then this guy, which I thought that maybe it was still about being like crazy, and this whole family, I just thought like they were just psychopaths.
That's the hard sell through the whole middle of the movie. Is
Right,
that
'cause-
she's crazy.
Who?
The mom,
Oh, yeah.
Annie. That has the, passed down the, schizophrenic, whatever, personality disorder, and it's revealed that she sleepwalks and stuff. So it's like, oh, no, she's going to make it all up in her head, or she's going to do something. Because she's also, the other interesting thing is she makes models, like little miniature models. So she's living in like these little fake worlds that she's building, So she's spending all of her time working on these little bits of her reality, and then it starts to spill into her reality when she recreates the crime scene and stuff. So then, of course, then you don't know if anything's real or not. Maybe she manifested the girl, getting her head ripped off and stuff.
I didn't think about that at all.
Yeah, I mean, that's because everything she did related to her life.
Well, yeah, I didn't think she manifested anything. I just thought
Well,
that was
but those are just more MacGuffin-y type
right.
things thrown in that you as an audience can be like, oh, I can see how she's crazy and she's living in her little worlds and stuff. But I do want to say that moment, like, that was some good direction in writing, because that I know I would bet money on the director and writer working out that sequence first in his head. That's the first sequence that popped in the guy's head.
Was the car accident?
Yeah.
Oh, you're really passionate about this.
Well, it was just really specifically executed.
Yeah, it was good and shocking that they did that. You didn't think from the trailer that was going to happen.
No,
For
and
sure.
but just like because nothing happened the way it happens in movies. You know, if that scene happens, which it wouldn't. You don't normally see a 13-year-old girl's head getting ripped off in a car accident, but like how that would happen, like brother like no, oh god, and then it cuts to like carrying the body into an or something happening, like hard cut out of there. But it just lingers on him. They don't show the body at all ever. It's just like the one shot on him. He starts tearing up. He goes through the whole. You see him work through the whole thing. And then he actually tries to say like, "Are you okay?" or something. It's
that
like,
was good.
but he can't get any of the words out. And then he just like decides to leave and go home and tell no one until his mom discovers the dead headless child in the back seat.
Okay, which
That's
also crazy and good acting on the boy's part. And but another thing is, I would have liked personally any kind of like, which I guess they. So, like, I really just wanted them to talk about what had happened because from the audience standpoint, you have no idea, like, did he tell his mom, like, oh, yeah, this is what happened. I'm going to be honest with you and lay it out. And I just, like, didn't tell anyone. I didn't call 911 because obviously your head is off. Or did he just, like, make something else up? Like, there was no ever, which I guess they just wanted it to be, like, ambiguous to.
Well, they had a whole nother plot to get to. I get why, yeah.
But it was just, it to me, like, that was what I was more focused on was why is everyone just suddenly, like, okay with the fact that this kid just drove home with his headless sister in the back and then he's going to school the next day? Like, why is no one talking about that? That's crazy.
That's a big oversight, I would say, in the script. Like, I was actually waiting for that cut, like a match cut from him in the car, like with the tear down his face, cut to him like like being questioned by police.
Right, because it
was like such a good shot. I was like, oh, they're gonna match cut to bam right into the police station, and then the mom's gonna be like, please see what happened. And they're like, ma'am, you can't, like do a whole thing where I thought it was going to go a whole nother direction where it was going to continue to break her down, like, because her son's going to be, like, for, like, manslaughter charges because he had weed in his system or something like that. Like, yeah, that's where I thought it was going to go. But then they sort of were like, brush it under the rug. Police don't, like, some movies, in some movies, the police don't exist.
Right.
And this is one of those movies where it's like, yeah.
Well, I thought it would have been straight from like her finding the body and then going to like a therapy appointment and like learning about what's wrong with this kid now, because like throughout the film you see that the mom has like some kind of medication, the dad has medication, the daughter uses
seemingly to sleep.
Well, yeah, but it's still like they're still seeing doctors. They still believe that doctors are necessary, and you learn later that the mom also had sleepwalking problems where she tried to kill her
both of them.
Her children, both of them. So she obviously went to therapy. So I just thought it was going to lead to, like, this kid is now the crazy one. So I just thought I didn't need the whole possession thing to happen.
I get you.
Okay. Sorry. What's next?
No, I was just saying because it's such a drastic jump.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I was just piggybacking off that idea.
It seemed like, it really to me felt like The Visit by M. Night Shyamalan.
Okay,
and
Shyamalan. Don't finesse his name.
I liked that film for what it was.
Yeah,
it was
fun.
scary, but it seemed exactly like that, where like everyone got mad at M. Night because he would just throw in some random twist at the end. But now everyone's like so in love with this because they threw in some. But I'm just bitter. I don't know.
No, I mean it's not a twist if you set it up in like the first. Like it is set up in the first. Not first shot. First shot's the cool miniature shot, but they're setting up for the funeral thing, and it's set up right there. Like it's like one of the first things she says, like all these strange new faces, and it's set up to be like, oh yeah, there's weird people smiling and stuff, like creepy and so you're like, okay, yeah, that's why immediately I was like, oh yeah, it's Rosemary's Baby, and then it ends up being 100% Rosemary's Baby, which I do think Rosemary's Baby has ruined. Yeah, you just can't do that anymore. Even though it is cool, it works. Like I get it. It's a great ending because in your head you're like, yeah, and then it is all real. and there are witches and demons, and it's
right.
like, yeah, you thought it was in her head, but it's not. It's all fucking real, and you're just like, whoa.
And there's
and that's how it feels. Like they're just like, yeah, because they do it all in the one close up, and reveal everything.
Yeah.
But Rosemary's Baby does it the best. You can't beat it because it's so perfectly executed. You can't do it. You can't beat it. That movie actually worked because that movie never even considers any other options.
Right. Exactly.
Because it does. It does in the sense that she is trying to rationalize it, but the plot never lets up. It is 100% that there are witches, and you're going to have the baby's the Antichrist. And they set it up, and that's what it is. But this movie tries to be slick with it. And I would probably have liked it more if maybe this is all figured out, and then the whole rest of the third act is like them trying to jumpstart this new version of the cult or something like that. Like see what we're doing with it.
What's it like?
Something like that would be a little more interesting than just ending with it. You're like, oh yeah, you're the devil now, and you're like, what?
Everything just seemed very pointless to me. Like it was not so much that like nothing mattered, because obviously there were repercussions to what was happening in the film, and there were things that were like necessary to happen towards the plot, and I get all of that. That's fine, but there was no like nothing was. We weren't getting anywhere. It seemed like to me, like it was just like. Okay,
yeah. That was one
died.
thing. Yeah, just to jump on that, the one thing that I did notice is there is no, there's no objectives to the plot.
Nothing. It's everything is.
There
like,
is nothing to strive for, which is interesting. Like that's a very bold move for a script to not have, because like I said before, traditionally it would be like. Oh no, grandma died. Now there's ghosts in the house. And then the little girl has to and then the mom, the little girl has to tell the mom, and the mom's skeptical at first, but then they all know about the ghost. And that's like the progression of there's at least something to work towards. And then it's like, oh no, we got to get the ghosts out of the house type deal. But in this, there's nothing ever. Like initially it's like, oh yeah, the maybe there's craziness in the family. Oh wait, maybe this little girl knows something. Oh no, never mind about that. Oh wait, I guess the brother is going to be sentenced, and going to jail or something like that. Oh wait, no, that's not happening. And and everything you have set up in your head that might become a proper like 3-act structure, like beginning, middle, end story arc is non-existent, except for the one that they plant in sort of early of like the grandma being the head of some creepy cult thing.
I wish I would have just seen a movie about that then.
Well, you did. It was just told in a very meandering way.
Yeah, okay. But then like...
I do respect A24 for making like... Because there's probably a ton of different scripts like this laying around that no one's going to give any money to make. And this movie spent money.
And it looks good.
Yeah.
There's good acting. The dad really had no effect whatsoever on any part of the plot or the story.
The dad
he
was
didn't need to exist,
a producer's friend, I think. I hate to say that, but he didn't.
Your wife is going crazy. Her mother died and her daughter died by getting decapitated, and she found the head, and you're just...
And everyone's super cool with that.
Exactly. Why do you not care? Like, what?
Yeah, he should be like he should be Leland Palmer.
Yes. God.
Like, yeah, your hair turns white. It's like, well, that's what happens when your daughter gets brutally...
You dance around the living room with no one. Like,
and that's more... That's more realistic too, with evil demonic forces and stuff. That seems more real. But no, I get exactly what they're going for, and I would probably like to watch this again and go back and be like, oh look, there's one of the, because I guess the AA meeting type thing, the grieving meeting type thing. That's the Covenant, the witch cult thing. Which is interesting.
That's cool.
Because all those
know that.
Well, all those members like showed up. They're like some of the like the bigger guy, like he's one of the featured guys that came back, and like so a few of those people are in there, and and there's some cool moments like when the pamphlet gets slid under the door.
Yeah.
That's cool because the mail's already there, so that means someone, if what was her name, Joanne or something like that, Joni or whatever. If it wasn't her, it was some other cult member. Sliding in the seance thing, and that got just, brushed over, and then she had to come physically, like, throw herself in front of the car to try to get her to to do the weird incantation, which and that's another thing
I'm
too.
not-
Like the dark comedy stuff was like, that's why I wonder if old Ari's, he might be English speaking first, but it did feel a little clunky. Like, what kind of language is that?
Right, that's
It's
what
like,
both of the parents ask right when
yeah,
they
it's
see
like ancient Sumerian, like everything. But I guess that's also a dig at like every other possession-y type movie where it is like ancient Sumerian or Latin text, and they have to always say, "Oh, this is a dead language," and but then they say it.
And I understand that, like, whenever she goes to Joni's house, she sees that the welcome mat is, oh, my mom used to make things just like that. Okay.
That's a warning sign.
That is a warning sign. But, like, I think Annie should have been, like, a little bit more worried because, like, that's exactly, like, if you
Yeah, my mom's a bitch. What are you doing with her fucking mat? And
It's
how come I
exactly
don't
the
know
same.
you?
Like, it's not one of those ones that
Yeah.
anyone could just make it.
Right.
It looks impeccably similar to the same welcome
Right.
mats.
And I think, and you said it before, like, why did she not go through this magic spell book thing first?
Any of the boxes that her mom
Yeah,
had,
it's
she
like
didn't
we
care.
get you weren't big fan of your mom, but like maybe there's some like stack of money or something in there. At least go through it and see if she forgot like maybe lost a coin in there or something. But like Jesus Christ, like if she has magic spell books and shit laying around in her belongings, like figure that out in the first act, right?
I mean, like,
And don't listen to Joni about summoning spirits. That was a good scene, though. That was an effective scene. I was actually like, oh, wow, they did that pretty, like, because you know exactly what's going to happen, but,
Yeah.
like, it was still very effective because Toni Collette or whatever her name is, did a great job.
That was another thing. That was cool, and I really liked whenever Annie comes home and she, like, she broke and she did it, and then she had to convince her son and her husband to do it, and, like, how just pure crazy she was about it. She's really good at being crazy.
She's a good actress.
But another thing in the writing that I didn't love was that, I mean, maybe it was done on purpose where they wanted the two seances to be so similar. But, like, Annie, the second that the cup moves, she like they show her looking under the table, and then they go home, and then as soon as the cup moves, like or the flame, the dad looks under. It's the same.
It was the show like. Yeah, there are moments when you're writing a script and it's like, well, you have to have the dad look because he's just not going to accept it because he wants to see if there's any trickery. But those are things in scripts where you got to like sort of throw out.
Or you could just either like find another way to portray that you're skeptical. Like there's so many different human emotions, so many ways to portray things. People are so different. That was too similar for me.
Yeah. No, yeah, there were moments like that, and that's why this isn't like an amazing, great, mind-blower movie, because I did have moments where I did think to myself, I'm like, oh, man, like, and your reaction to it, I was like, yeah, I'm sort of on board, but now that I think about it more, I'm like, I'm glad that movies like this are greenlit and are getting made, and people are going to see it, because I'm sick of a cookie-cutter movie. Like, I'm glad that it wasn't a cookie-cutter movie. And I'll take this one definitely over all the other, a million sequels of the same movie and everything like that.
It's fun to take chances on new films, and that's why I'm really happy that it's this guy's first time directing. And
he got some good friends.
Well, but like
A24 hooking up.
This one won't be like perfect. Maybe his next one will be perfect. Like it's just these are the things I didn't like, guy. Good job doing it. You did a lot better than I would have, but I would have changed a number of things.
Yeah. I thought it was fun. I'm glad no one in the theater ruined it when we watched it, because you could have easily ruined it many times. So thank you, movie theater.
Plus, shout out to Waterworks Luxury Cinemas.
Whoa.
They are the best. We always go like I'm not going to tell you which row
right
you go
front.
in, but you go like in a really good row.
Yeah.
And it's not too close, but people get afraid of it because it's like, even though you have like the seats that lean back, it's still not, just felt like you're in your own living room. It was great. I love that theater.
And thank you, Movie Pass, for me buying 2 movie passes and paying every month. Thank you for staying in business.
Thanks, Donny, for buying me Movie Pass.
Okay, maybe Movie Pass will give you me free ones.
No one's gonna give you anything
Because
for free.
that's what they want to do now is have sponsors because they're losing money like crazy. How can you even stay afloat, Movie Pass?
It is great, Movie Pass.
But I love it. It's a great service, and this is definitely one of those movies that you're glad that I know you're glad that you didn't pay for it, right?
I am, yeah.
But I'm glad I saw it because I liked how it was shot. I liked the weird story structure. I'm always happy to see weird story structure stuff happening, and it's definitely I'd like to see it again to go back and see. You see it with the true lens that you're supposed to see it through because they reveal everything at the end is real, and you gotta watch it through that lens instead of thinking that she's just crazy. That'll be a pretty interesting watch, probably.
Yes. I just wasn't it was good for what it was, but I wish it would have gone differently.
Into the real
We all
realm.
have different tastes,
So
Everything's
this
different.
movie would be in the real world. She's just going nuts. Her mom dies. She breaks even more. She has to get the art galleries on her ass every day. She told her when the deadline is. Just wait for the deadline. And so she's getting stressed about that. And then she has a mental break. And then and she goes crazy enough to let her 13-year-old kid go with the pot addict brother who can't drive without being a little stoned. And they wrecks her face into a telephone pole. And then she breaks even more from that and then thinks that there's witches flying around. She decides to cut her head off with a piano wire. And then set her husband on fire. The end.
And we gotta do like this whole
That's the real movie.
This whole like demonic possession thing that they love to do where it's like scratching out the eyes because they're possessed. So the eyes are all scratched out. Like I did that
windows
last
to the
Halloween
soul.
for our house as a decoration. You
yeah,
know?
it was fun. Everyone liked it.
Right. But I don't need to see it in every demonic possession movie.
Yeah.
I know they're the window to the soul. Then like color them red or like drip some blood on them or like eat the eyes out or anything.
Okay.
Just
I gotcha. I did think that little girl was going to be a little psychopath, though, cutting that bird's head off.
yeah,
That was twisted.
that was twisted.
What else was good? It was all good.
It was good.
Yeah.
It was good. It was a sweet treehouse.
The treehouse was the coolest part. I wish I had a treehouse like that. It makes me wonder where was this movie set? Where there's trees that look like that. Those are like some weird, like Scandinavian-looking trees, wasn't
They
it?
didn't really do like setting. Like they had like some weird. This family was loaded for no reason.
Well, that's because the grandma was
right.
getting the good fortune of that demon. And at least that's a cool demon to summon. And I do like that idea of like performing this occult magic, and instead of just bringing like the Antichrist like they do, which is always just like that's weird. But this family, their whole thing was just about bringing this like trickster god that apparently could like bring you good wealth and fortune. Like it could tell you like events or whatever they said. You know what I mean?
Okay, but
And that's why the grandma was being covered in coins and stuff like that. And then at the end when they're anointing the son as the new demon thing, they're like, then tell us the secrets,
But
so they
who's
could
winning in this scenario?
the cult just gets they get good, like oddly great fortune.
But
I guess.
I didn't see any of that. All I saw was mass death. And
yeah.
the first family it happened to when everyone died.
Right.
What good happened to anyone?
It's not good for them. Well, the old family died too because all the men wouldn't accept the demon, so they had to die, and all the other men had and then it got stuck into the little girl who was, not optimal or however they put it.
Well, she had a vagina. You can't have that as a king demon.
No, she had a bit of,
You can't be it has to take the form of a man. Didn't you see that? They put it in the book.
Right. Yeah, but they said specifically it's because of her abnormality or whatever, how she was different.
Right.
Right. And then had to get out of that and then into the healthy brother. But all the other cult people benefit because they get all the
okay.
secrets and all
But
the money.
Who? Joni was the only one?
Joni gets some cash.
That's it. The daughter, Charlie, died.
Yeah, there's only a few people in this cult. That's all they work. There's like 10 people tops.
It seemed like a lot of risk, high risk, low reward. Isn't that how it says?
Yeah.
Didn't seem like it was worth the time.
Juice ain't worth the squeeze.
She got the juice. Do, baby.
Chromeo,
That's why
if you want to give us a theme song,
Stop. No one's going to give you anything.
I like Chromeo.
They're not going to give you anything.
I've liked them since they started.
Okay.
Anyway, Hereditary, I give it 5.5 stars out of 6 3/3 stars.
I didn't know we were starring things these days.
That's 7 stars.
I say go see it.
Yeah.
And support the first venture
Yes.
of Ari, whatever his name is. Because
Yeah.
we need new films. So
Yeah. A24 needs to just keep giving out money to weird stuff. That's the key. That's the only way we're going to get through this world of ours.
the next economic depression.
People are going to get real sad, and they need a fantasy world to escape to. And if it involves driving a little girl's brainstem into a wooden plank, then so be it.
Yeah.
And that one shot of her weird, rotten head all getting eaten apart by ants was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did like there was one part that I genuinely really also enjoyed. Very burpy.
Okay. Jeez.
There was the part where you could tell like the sun was starting to snap. And he's in school. And he's just like sitting at his desk and he looks up and it's like the rear view mirror.
Yeah.
You notice that? And it was
That was cool.
So you still didn't even see the body, but you knew like what he was remembering. That was cool.
Yeah.
Cool
Once
shot.
again, that kid wouldn't be going to school.
Yes. Why did you?
That's
let
the
him?
one. That is the most traumatizing event most people will ever experience ever in the history of Earth.
Ever.
So don't go to literature class or whatever he's in talking about anti-heroes or something like they're the arc of a hero's journey.
Yeah.
Like that. Like don't go to school. Like your parents don't care. Don't go to school.
Your teenage experience is over once you accidentally kill your little sister. Like
Yeah.
you're done being a teenager. Now you gotta sort your brain out.
This is your life now.
Right. It's no more like fun parties in high school.
You don't get to live at home with a nice treehouse. You go work on the railroad somewhere, and you have a story. You have a whole backstory.
No, you just
and
get homeschooled.
No, and then you go to the shady bars, and people look at you down the bar, and they're like, "That guy has some demons," and you're like, "I don't even." Like that's where the movie should have gone. He should have became like a hobo, railroad riding hobo, and then everyone would say like, "Yeah, he killed her sister in 2018 or something," and it's like years after, of course, and he's still living with the guilt. That would be interesting. And then he comes home to find that the cult took over his town, and then he has to save his mom or something from it and redeem himself. Who knows? That's a good movie, right?
I don't.
Right?
Nah. I probably wouldn't like that one.
Anyway, Hereditary 2018 just saw in theaters. If you got your movie pass, don't even think. Just go see it. What are you doing? Of course, see this movie if you have
But
a movie
like,
pass.
really do not see it with a bad crowd. Like you
Yeah, they
really
can ruin
have
it.
to pick when you see movies.
Yeah, it's a quietish movie.
There's a lot to make fun
There's
of.
a lot of weird black humor that people could then turn into laugh at everything because
Yeah.
it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And the last like 20 to 30 minutes of the movie are like serious. And I could easily see people being like, "Oh, it's hilarious. She's flying around." Like it's like, well, she's a weird witch thing. That's why she flies around. You know
Why
what I
did
mean?
she become a witch though?
I think she was being controlled by the others somehow, the demonic force, and like why she was like flying up and cutting her head off while she's like up in the air. I think that was because of the power emanating when everyone was like around and they just released it through the seance thing and it's bouncing around in the weird light thing, the weird light effect, which is like, just go to weird shadow creature maybe. Because the light things, I get it, but it's
It just like, it could have just been communicated better to me.
Yeah, the only thing that I think is a negative of this movie is the script is a little wonky at times, but overall I think that works. It works for some people, and I think the visuals were great. I think the direction was great. I think the acting was great. I just think it is suffering. Yeah, but what was given, they did a great job with.
Yeah.
And it just suffers a little bit from. Can use a couple more drafts, but then again, like I said, sometimes you lock stuff in and it feels good, and you're just like, yeah, I don't want to touch it. I get it. So, and I'm sure a lot of other people say it's a perfect movie. But that's what you're thinking. I'm the one telling you on this show what we're thinking. So maybe next time you go see a movie, you tell me what you think.
I want to just like say something really quickly. Okay. If you watched this long, then I get 5 more seconds of speaking.
Yeah, then you're into it.
No, I'm saying that I think the reason we're even talking about movies, there's a cat hair on that. The reason we're even like talking about movies
This is your hair.
Is because we see a lot of movies and not many people we know see a lot of movies.
Yeah, so if you're out there and you like movies, you should be watching this about movies.
But also, like, I want to know what other people think about movies.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the truth.
So there you go. That's it. That's all
so
I
anyway,
clear up.
you should just go see the movie. If you like horror movies, go for it. If you like watching Rosemary's Baby, you'll probably like this.
If you like a serious version of Drag Me to Hell that isn't funny and doesn't have
There you go. I need more movies where things are like straightforward cursed. You know what I mean?
I just need a movie where I'm not so indebted into this family being crazy and then all of a sudden they're cursed. Sorry, what were you saying?
They apparently have been cursed for... No, I'm just saying I like the gypsy lady like actually doing like the thinner thing. You know?
Thinner?
You ever seen the movie Thinner?
No, I never saw that.
Where the gypsy lady, like, it's this big fat guy, and it was like the 90s, so he's only like 200 pounds, but he is big. He's a big guy. But then she does, it's a Stephen King book, and she I forget what he does. He hits her with a car or something like that, and then he doesn't like help her, and then somehow she curses him by touching him. She says, thinner.
And then he wastes away, right?
Yeah,
okay, I think I've seen that.
He can't. It's crazy. But I do like curses, like they implicitly done just like obvious curses.
Yeah, like again, like Drag Me to Hell because she wouldn't help that old lady with like the teeth. That's like
curses.
My perfect curse film.
Yeah.
Possession, curse.
Sam Raimi.
Great film.
Yeah. This was just trying to be a little more, it's a little more slick.
Well,
he wanted to be old Ari wanted to get slick with it.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm excited for where your career goes, Ari. I think you're going to get a lot of money or praise or both from this.
Yeah.
So
We'll see how it does. People should go see it. It's better than I don't know, what else is out?
Ocean's 8 maybe.
That's probably a great film.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm just judging it because we don't need another Oceans movie. Just make a movie about a heist that's not Oceans.
Okay.
What is the point of making 5 Oceans movies?
I don't know.
Make an original one, please.
Anyway, Hereditary is, around, so you go see it if you want.
That's it.